It is far too dark right now for you to see anything, at least from the cameras on my iPhone. So we'll put something else up. Maybe the GoPro's doing a little bit better in the dark. Or maybe I'll show you some pre-dawn long exposure shots that I've been dicking around with. I am once again by Lake Wendouree in the middle of Ballarat. I have been awake since 2 a.m. having gotten all of perhaps 4 hours sleep, and my brain refused to let me return to sleep or even rest. It was just racing with thoughts. So I distracted it with TikTok for a while. No good. Then I realized, hey, I am up before the dawn. So I got out from under my warm-ish blanket, got dressed, climbed into the front of the Shuttlepod, and drove around to the lake here, because I have an opportunity to get a sunrise. Although, as I look out the windscreen of the Shuttlepod, it does look like it's fairly overcast, although there is such little contrast in this sky. It might be clear sky, it might be overcast. I honestly can't tell. There are very, very few lights around the lake itself, which is not something I'd noticed until now. I imagine that's so they don't disturb the local wildlife that lives here. Because if you had bright lights on all night, like you do alongside most roads in, built-up areas, you might imagine it might mess with some of the animal life that lives local. So I appreciate that. I am about maybe 25 minutes before dawn at this point. I don't see any colour on the horizon yet, so there might indeed be very thick clouds. But not like I had anything better to do, so here we sit, here we wait. I did at least get maybe 2 long exposure shots from the iPhone that I quite like. They're not fantastic, but I quite like them. So, hopefully we get some good dawn shots. Yeah, 15 minutes away from sunrise itself. The dawn has crept over, and those are definitely quite thick clouds. I don't think we're going to get any sunrise color splash. It's just going to get gradually brighter. That's a shame. But hey, it's almost bright enough for you to see me now. This is not a great image, but morning. Alright. Come on, dawn. Why don't you surprise me? I just want something good to start the day. If you only knew how hard I am trying to be optimistic. Just give me that glow. Let it be pretty. Let it be photogenic. And that is officially the last drop of my cough syrup. Still coughing quite a lot. I'm editing it out because it has become unpleasant. I left it in the video, some of them, initially, just to demonstrate how sick I was feeling. A bit of storytelling. Then I started editing out because, there's only so much of that you need. But I have been coughing quite a lot this morning, and as you can hear, sniffly. So, might want to get more of that syrup, because I don't want to stop now on it for it to, regroup on me. There we go. I'll leave that one in. And I'll cut those ones out. Yeah. Not even a hint of color. Not a wee drop, much less a splash of it across the horizon. So that's disappointing. Not entirely unexpected. It was a very dreary, rainy, windy, terrible night. So it would have been spectacular if the sky had cleared for the morning. But it was quite still for the past few hours, so there was some hope. But nope. I'm going to go get some breakfast. Somewhere with a working coffee machine this time, hopefully, unlike yesterday. Nothing much to say, honestly. Just kind of decided to check in, record something, say something, see what fell out of my face. I've been sitting motionless here, just parked at a park. Past 3 hours, I guess. It's about 10 a.m. now. I'm definitely experiencing a depressive dip. And we started to talk about it at the end of yesterday's vlog. That's why I was so desperate this morning, just to have, a little bit of joy to grab onto, to, get a photo. And, sorry, if you're hearing that squeaking noise, that's not me farting, that's me fidgeting with my foot against the door plastic. Let me just reposition so that doesn't happen. A little bit distracting, isn't it? But I am very fidgety. Energy's all over the place, because of course I didn't sleep. I was up very early. Hit that little disappointment. Did I record anything after I had my coffee? I don't remember. Coffee was fine. McDonald's breakfast continues to be unappetizing, but you gotta choke something down. Again, just referencing something we talked about a couple of videos back now, the autistic food stuff. I just don't have any of my safe foods available to me in any practical way right now. That's frustrating, and the lack of feeling secure at night is frustrating. Having to, stealth camp as, I've got several days worth of local things to do. Inspection, of course, this afternoon. Not doing well. The emotional regulation has started to fail. I'm getting really upset with things that shouldn't be making me as emotional as they are. We talked a bit about emotional dysregulation in past videos. I need to find a way to couch it in metaphor so people have a better chance of understanding, because it's one of those tricky things that it's another one of those things that unless you've experienced it, it is so difficult to get someone to understand how it feels and how it affects you. Because everything feels just so ramped up. Like a raw nerve. The most irritating thing about it is it's always the negative emotions. At least for me. It's extremely rare for emotional dysregulation to hit, and for the joy to be overwhelming. I mean, that's not much better, because people who do experience that, and when it coincides with impulse control, which it very often can, people do really crazy stuff. Well, it's unfair to say crazy stuff in the colloquial, but they make decisions and do things in the pursuit of this overwhelming, blissful joy in the emotional dysregulation at the other end. They take risks. You know, they perform risky behavior, whether that be interpersonally, whether that be with substances, whether that be with dangerous activities. So in a way, I'm quote-unquote lucky. That rarely affects me. But sitting where I am at this end of the spectrum of emotional dysregulation, it's easy to get overwhelmed. With empathy, injustice, things that shouldn't make you cry do. You can. Boil with rage at minor injustices. At least that's how it works for me. I frequently get accused of being angry. Almost always when I'm communicating in text, because I have a very direct communication style, as many autistics do. And people misread that directness as aggression. It's called tone policing. People don't want to talk about what you said. They will talk about how you said it instead, thus avoiding the conversation about the topic you're trying to talk about. It's extremely frequent and wildly frustrating. One of the things that can happen when it gets especially intense, when it does get legitimately overwhelming in the truest sense of the word, is I will shut down or dissociate and just sort of blank out. And that's pretty horrifying too. It's also very difficult to describe how that feels, because it doesn't feel like anything. Literally, you shut down. Emotions, sensory, cognitive. It is like, I don't know, putting your computer in sleep mode or something. But I can't afford to let that happen, so I'm trying really hard, like really, really hard, just to stay. And it's taking a lot of focus, a lot of effort, a lot of will, and so much energy just to remain. Because if I do drift away, you know, it's not harmful, but I have an appointment. There's an apartment to inspect. There are, you know, I can't be missing that. So, yeah, right now, burning through this is costing. I'm spending a very precious resource of energy, concentration, focus, effort, will, just to make it to that point in the day. As soon as that's done, I can find somewhere quiet and, you know, curtain up the back of the Shuttlepod and curl up and hopefully have enough left to slam this video together, because I haven't missed a day yet. So I don't really want to sit down and start editing, certainly not now. And I doubt I will by the end of the day. But I know if I let myself miss a day at this point, it'll feel like a failure as well. And that will be upsetting. More upsetting than it should be right now. And this is the level of self-awareness you have to maintain when you do suffer this particular jumble of mental health issues just to get through a day. Because without this effort of self-awareness, without the tricks and skills and whatever, it's real easy to get lost real fast. So, I guess that's what fell out of my face. Is it worth turning on the camera for? Doesn't feel cathartic to say that out loud. Sometimes it does. Just talking it through to a camera, processing it. Not this time. This time I feel a bit worse, actually. So, yep, we're done.
Daniel Yar. Daniel Yar. Rawr. 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 Hey, guess what? Rawr.
No, stupid. That's a house. Well, just had the inspection of the mystery place we discussed earlier this week that only had one external shot and no internal shots whatsoever. I don't know what all the fuss and secrecy was about internally. It was lovely. Like nothing out of place. Perfectly well kept. Recently painted, I think. The kitchen stove was electric and looked like it'd been there for 78 years, but aside from that, yeah, I'm not sure why they never bothered to take internal shots. It presents really quite nicely. Whatever. So yeah, I'm going to apply for that as well. Really quite happy I get that one too, because as far as condition and area, I guess, I'm not too sure about this area, but it seems nice enough. And none of the other people I was inspecting with are people I've seen at other recent inspections for whatever reason, which is interesting. Well, one guy actually. I've seen him at one. So yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. But that's it for me today. I've got, again, just nothing left. I got to shut down. I know I forgot to pick up more cough medicine, I've just realised. Hopefully I don't pay for that. Thanks, Sue. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. PayPal, Patreon, Super Chats, likes, comments. Appreciate those very, very much. Sorry, having trouble forming words and not coughing and sputtering.